I've set up this line to practice passing small branches and large branches, as is often encountered when I'm climbing very tall trees. Sometimes you'll set a canopy anchor that's 150 feet high, and in the process you'll have a bunch of other branches that are tied into that. So the question is, what's the best way to pass a small branch like this when that branch is not strong enough to support your weight? You couldn't hang all of your weight on that and reconfigure anything, so you need to pass that. On the other branch there, that one's small enough that I could put my weight on it, or I can do a DDRT off of that to get to the ultimate tie-in point, the highest tie-in point up in the tree. So just had a heavy downpour go past, and you may hear some sheet lightning still, but the lightning from cloud to ground is pretty well gone. There's a little bit of blue sky, and the sheet lightning is moving on. But anyway, here's the climbing system. I'm going to go up on a rope runner. I have a DDRT system attached to the bottom that I'll take up with me, and we're going to go up to that small branch. We want to clear the small branch and then clear the secondary branch and get to the main tie-in point. That's like a slippery rope. Okay, I've got myself to this small branch that I want to go past. It's much too small to stand on, so the concept is going to be to go under it to connect to the other side of the climbing line, and then feed the rest of my line back over the top of the branch, just as if I had completely climbed over the top of the branch, taking my climbing line with me. Okay, so I'm just going to tie a prusik here and attach to that, and then we'll let the slack out from my ascender until we swing over to the next branch. So I've taken a prusik and I've attached it to the climbing line. In this case, I've taken my lanyard and connected to that, but you could also take a short loop run or anything else and make that connection. Now I have the tail of my system, which was set up for the DDRT, and I will make sure that that goes up over the top with me, because we want to keep all of the climbing line on the outside of that crotch, so that when I get to the tree, it'll all pull through. Okay, so now we just start letting out some slack, and this will move myself over to the next point. Alright, so now I've reached the next tie-in point, or the next obstacle, and I could also, because this is a large branch, I could just lift myself up and... Alright, here's the other prusik, and here's a beeline, here's a eye-to-eye prusik. What I would do is I'd put that on the other side, and I'd connect that to my harness, and then I'd let this one out, swing over, disconnect, and do this one. But in the interest of time, and because it's starting to rain, we're just going to climb up through this crotch to get to the other side.
Okay, I'm clipped in here. Check our system. Good. Take this one off. If I'm ever going to be putting enough friction on a branch that I care about, I'll put on my midline attachable cambium saver. There we go. Okay, so we've reached our tie-in point. If I wanted, I could take my tail and make another descent there, keep going up. But we came from that small branch to the larger branch to here, clearing each one of those as we went along.